What to do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you my next video in my 3 looks 1 palette series. I typically try and get them done once a month, where I am basically reviewing one new palette a month. And for this month, the palette that I really want to take the time to review is Alien Cosmetics Strawberry Milk palette. This is my very first palette from this brand, and I was so excited. I've always been very interested in the brand, but I've never had a palette that was like perfect for me, one that was in stock, that I was in the mood to try at the moment, etc, etc. And the price, all of that just had to come into full alignment, and this palette really was full alignment for me. I felt like this was something very unique to my makeup collection color scheme wise, and I was just very intrigued and very excited to test her out. I will have on the screen right now swatches so you guys can see what this looks like on my complexion. In case you're wondering, I do try my best to do swatches on my Instagram when I get new products, so always follow me down on Instagram if you're interested, and I always have that in the description box below. Anyways, I have previously tested this out 3 or 4 times, and for me that gives me a pretty good basis on how I like an eyeshadow product, just because I have so much information and knowledge base when it comes to other eyeshadow palettes. I really was testing this out because there were a couple of things I wasn't too comfortable with. Anyways, I don't want to go too long into a spiel. In case you want to see the 3 looks that I've created, this of course being look number 1, just stay tuned. And at the very end, I will give you guys my full thoughts, especially like I said, I did take the time to test this product out previously, and now even getting even more thoughts doing the 3 looks as well. So I will have plenty of knowledge base, I feel like, to give you guys a really thorough, dedicated review at the end. So in case you are interested, just keep watching. Hey guys, so I am here to do my very first look in this 3 looks 1 palette series, and of course I am using my Alien Cosmetics Strawberry Milk palette. So as you can see, I already did one eye, and so I'm just going to go ahead and replicate that eye. Ooh, dear Lord. I'm just going to go ahead and replicate that eye. So first what I'm gonna do is put on my eyeshadow base, and I'm using I'm using the MAC Paint Pot in Groundwork. I did already cut and clean up the underside of my brow, and I did set that product, and we're just gonna go ahead and prime the rest of my eye area, and now that whole area is ready to go. If you're wondering what brush I used today, I happen to use an Eciem W23, which I believe this is another sable hair brush from Eciem. Then what I'm going to do is take my Smith 232 brush, and just kidding, I went through a couple of phases with this eyeshadow look. So I'm actually going to go in with my ColourPop E9, and I'm going to go into the shade Juicy, which is pretty much one of the darkest shades in this palette. And first what I'm going to do is just build up some product, of course, on the brush, and I'm just going to pack it on this outer V area. The goal right now is just to really get the placement and to get the depth that I want. As I blend this part of my eyeshadow out, it'll slowly not be as deep, but I will just go back and continue to deepen her up again. So as you can see, I'm just taking my time, really tapping it on in the area that I want, and then I'm just going to take the tip of this same brush and just blend upwards. And this is going to help blend this product into my skin and just make it look all around good. So as I feel I need to, I'm just going to go ahead and go back and kind of reinforce the depth in certain parts. And I think it's looking really good. This is honestly a very simple look. Then I'm just going to take the tip of that, add some more of that Juicy shade, and we are just going to run right along my lower lash line. Okay. So looking pretty good right now. What I want to do now is clean off my W21 brush from Esom, and what I'm gonna do is cut my lid with my NYX glitter glue. Now I'm using NYX glitter glue. In this case, I feel I have to. I don't like these eyeshadows without NYX glitter glue. I have tried the shimmers with wetting it with my brush, and I just don't like that particularly either. I still find that throughout the day it will break up. I just find, for me, in the way that I apply eyeshadow, I need this glitter glue to get the most out of the shadow, but then also just for it to last the longest that I want it to last. So what I'm going to do is take the tip of this brush and go into the shade Fresh, which is in the middle. And this is one of the more foiled shadows, so be careful when you're taking a little bit, because it will kind of do more than you want. And I'm just going to focus that shadow on the top of the area that I just finished cutting, and I'm also going to take the time to apply it to my inner corner as well. So that's done. Right now what I'm going to do is just kind of slightly clean off the brush, trying to still allow some of that NYX glitter glue to still be on there. And then I'm going to go into Strawberry Shake, which is like a cool toned purple shimmer in this palette, and this is going to be my actual lid shade. This is definitely not as metallic as that previous shimmer shade that I used. It is definitely more of a shimmer, whereas that is like one of the only metallic shades, and I still just prefer it being layered on top of this NYX glitter glue. And yeah, that's the look. Pretty quick, pretty simple, but I really like what came of it. What I need to do now is add my mascara, my liner. I'm gonna put something in my waterline and in my tight line, and then I'm gonna zoom out so you guys can see the finished look. So I will be back in just a second. So this is the finished look. I really think it looks really nice. I really think it's very simple. 2-3 eyeshadows on my eyes, and I think it just looks really nice. So stay tuned for look number 2 in just a second. Okay guys, today was a little rough to get this look, but we're going to do it again on my other eye for you. So I've already primed my eye, and first what I'm gonna go is into the shade Stem, which is the light green in this palette. And I'm going to use my Smith 232 and really just liberally pack this into my crease. I'm going to pack, and then once I feel I have the right amount of pigmentation in that area, then I'm going to use windshield wiper motions to blend that shadow out. Okay, and so I feel like it's blended in a really nice way. Now what I'm gonna do is then go in with my E9, and we're gonna go back into a very similar shade from yesterday, or the same shade from yesterday, which is Juicy, and I'm gonna deepen out my outer V area. I would say take your time with this shade. This shade is very pigmented, and if you're comparing it to that Stem shade that we just went through, you may over apply and then have to over blend. So don't put too much on your brush unless you kind of gotten used to the pigmentation of this particular shade. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do the exact same thing on the lower lash line, starting with Juicy. And then taking Stem and blending that out. All right, so now it's time to cut my lid. For today, I'm actually going to be using a sample from Too Faced. It's the Too Faced Glitter Glue. And I am going to use that with my Esom W21 brush and clean up my lid in preparation for my shimmer. Very similarly to what I said yesterday, I find that these shimmers really need some form of glitter glue. to adhere. They just don't do well in my opinion without it. And I've now tried them with both this and of course my NYX glitter glue, which you guys saw yesterday. So I still feel very strongly and confident about that opinion. Then I'm going to take the shade Ripe, which is more of the flaky kind of glitter metallic in this palette. And the thing about this shade is you have to make sure you really load up your brush. But after you do that, you really need to tap off your brush to make sure that all of the product that's on the brush is connected with that glitter glue, because this will fall out right onto your face because it really is like a glitter metallic situation. Okay, so now that I've packed it everywhere, I am going to find my pencil brush. There it is. And I'm actually going to put some glitter glue on this pencil brush as well. And then I'm going to go into the shade Fresh, which is the shimmer green. And in case you're wondering what pencil brush this is my Sonia G Pencil Pro. And I'm just going to put this directly in the inner corner and then a little bit in that front half on my lid and front half on my lower lash line. So that's pretty much the look. What I'm going to do is hop off camera. I need to put on liner and mascara, and then I'll come back to show you guys my finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look and I'm really enjoying it. I think it looks really nice. There are definitely things that I will change, and I'll talk more about that in the end of this video once I've shown you guys look number 3. For look number 3, I'm definitely going to play around with the light pink, the dark green, and then the whip shade. I've played with everything else. Oh, I also need to play with Strawberry, Shake, and Cherry on top on camera for you guys. But overall, like I said, this is just continuing to further my thoughts, especially now that I've tried this with a second glitter glue. Stay tuned for look number 3. And yeah, let's just get to it. Alrighty guys, so I'm here to show you guys look number 3 for this 3 looks 1 palette. I forgot to prime my eye off camera, so we're going to do that very, very quickly. As always, I'm just using my MAC paint pot and groundwork. And I am just going to apply it all over my lid and blend it into my crease, just so that all of the colors I apply have a really good chance of being there, showing up. That. So first I decided I was going to do a look that I did when I was testing this palette out, and I did videos, so I hope you guys appreciate that. What I'm going to do is go into the shade Green, and I'm just going to really lather up my Wayne Goss 16 brush and just apply it. I'm going to apply it both in my crease outer corner, and then I'm going to slowly blend her in. After I feel satisfied. I will say, I believe when I did like the original version of this look, I did use the shade Stem as my real transition shade, but honestly, I just couldn't be bothered to do that today. But if you are not as quote unquote as advanced as I am when it comes to blending colorful shades, or you just want the outer edge to be a little bit more lighter and to there to be more contrast between all of your shades, then I would recommend putting Stem in your actual transition area and then building upon it with green. So yeah, it helps in both manners. I just kind of wanted this to be a really like dark pink situation, so that's why I did it this way today. But you can always do it a different way or your own way, whichever way you prefer to call it. Okay, so I feel like I've lathered on the green in a really nice way, all in that outer V crease area. Now what I'm going to do is take a smaller pencil brush, which is the E9, same shade green, and I'm just going to really just pack her on, both in that outer V and in that transition area. I just want to make sure that There's nice depth there. And so that's just a step that I like to take. It also just ensures that even if like I really did an even, like if I did put the stem shade, then there would be an even more gradual depth area situation. I don't really know. Anyways, now what I'm gonna do is take the NYX glitter glue, and this is just a flat brush from Crown Brushes, but just any flat brush that has an edge that you like, just go ahead and take that and cut your lid the way that you like to. I like to cut my lid slightly above my crease area, and then blend her in to my transition color. So that's what I'm gonna do there. Then I'm gonna take the same side that I had that glitter glue on, and I'm gonna go into the shade Ripe, and this is going to be my lid shade. Now, as I've said, this is a very crumbly shade, so do keep that in mind when you are picking this shade up and also applying it. As you can see, there are quite a few flakes of color just popping off in their own area wherever they want to go. So just take your time and really warm that product up on your eye so that it lays where you want it to be and it doesn't fall off in the middle of the day. Okay, and like I said, there's quite a bit of flaking going on. I did not zoom in my camera. My bizzles. But there's quite a bit of flaking going on out here in this outer V where the green shade is. So I'm just going to take a little bit more product of green on that pencil brush and just low-key like brush those shades off, or that area off, and also help to blend the green into the pink. So that's kind of why I do that. Then we're going to take a different pencil brush. This happens to be from PH Cosmetics. It is the 11 brush in this set, and I'm just going to pack on my inner corner highlight, which is the shade Fresh. It is the metallic or shimmery green in this palette, and I am just going to pack her on in my inner corner. Super easy. No fuss, no muss. Last step, taking that same E9 pencil brush from ColourPop and just applying green very liberally on my lower lash line. Okay. So the only other thing I need to do is just this side. It just seems very concentrated compared to my other side. So I'm just going to work on blending her out. I'm just using the Wayne Goss brush that I used in my crease above, and I'm just gonna blend her out a little bit. It looks like it's taking a little bit longer than I want, so I'm gonna take the brush that I used to do my under eyes and try to get her to blend that way. Okay, I've done worse. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is hop off camera. I'm gonna do my waterline, my liner, and my mascara, and then I'll be back to show you guys my finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. Alrighty, so like I said, this is the finished look. I was able to just throw on whatever liner I could find because the liner I had planned to use ran out. Then I just put on my Project Pan lip products, and the only thing I have on my cheeks other than my bronzer today is a little bit of highlight. So overall, how am I feeling about this palette? And overall, how am I feeling about this brand? I hear rave things about this brand, their formulation, their palettes, and I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I will say the mattes are decent. I will say these are the 3 mattes that I prefer. The 2 lighter mattes, honestly, it's just ash. It really is. And even honestly, Toppings is pretty much ash on me. The green and the juicy are the best pigmentation wise and just blendability wise. Topping and Stem are pretty much on the same like depth level, and because of that, it takes a lot for it to build up even to be a transition color on my complexion, and even then it just doesn't seem worth it. The pigmentation is just not there, and it just doesn't seem worth it. Whip, you ain't catch me looking at Whip. Okay, I didn't even bother to look at Whip because of how Stem and Toppings worked on my complexion. It just didn't make sense. I did use it once just to see that it actually works. It does work. The only way that I would use that product is like with today's look, if I wanted a little bit more transition area, so the lighter crease area, I wanted it to be lighter, I would have just thrown on just a little bit of Whip. I wouldn't have used it as an actual transition color, no ma'am, but I would use that shade to like lighten up a certain area in my look. As for the shimmers, okay, so these two have the same formula, Fresh and Strawberry Shake. Same formulation, and for me, I think that they are okay. They're okay. They are, I would say, on the end of shimmers, not metallics, and because of that, it just does not do what I want on my eye. That said, let me just finish this and then I can tell you overall like the way that I've been able to apply them the way that I like. Cherry on Top, I think, is like the more metallic shade in this formulation, and it is once again okay. It's on the verge of being flaky, but it's not fully there. I think overall it's a really nice shade, but formulation not loving. Then we have Ripe, and this is pretty much like low-key a flaky glitter topper that is pressed, and so with this you're going to get a lot of fallout, a lot of chunkiness with this product unless you apply it correctly. And for me, all 4 of these shimmers I apply in a very similar manner, which is to put NYX glitter glue down and then apply it. I did try it pre-doing these 3 looks for you guys with just wetting my brush. I did not like the effect. I felt like the actual shadow just like evaporated on my brush, and it also did not last long on my eye throughout the day with it being sprayed and then kind of emphasized that way. I just find that these shimmers, metallics, and flaky situation going on, all 4 of these, you need to put some form of glitter glue down. That is just my humble opinion, and that's what it do. So overall, this brand, formulation wise, yes, this is my first palette I've tried from them. Yes, it was rather cheap, and you got quite a bit of product, and it's a lot bigger of a palette than I was honestly expecting overall. But am I gonna rush to try this brand? No, I'm not. And that's disheartening because they have quite a few palettes that I have been interested in throughout the years, honestly, and this was the first one that I really pulled the trigger on. So the idea that I'm not in love with the formulation, I'm sad about that. I really am. But at the same time, right, I get to save my money. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's kind of how I feel about this brand from trying this one palette. I would love to hear what you guys feel. If you've tried other palettes from the brand, if you find that it's just this palette in particular, let your girl know. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, y'all, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.